It is a beautiful Wednesday. Welcome into the Steelers Talk live show here this week. Week 2 of NFL free agency. It's been, died down a little bit here. Not as many big moves for the Pittsburgh Steelers, at least thus far. But that doesn't mean GM Omar Khan isn't cooking something up. Welcome into the show, guys. It's good to see all of your faces. We got a bunch of people already in here. We got Afton, King, Kyle, Hot Rod 24 is already here. Gary is here. Tristan W. Kurgan Cold is here. What's up, Kurgan? Tom Alcock is here. Brian is here. Fernando. Thank you guys for stopping by. You guys are the real ones. Already, Coop, 266 people watching. Can you believe it?
It's unbelievable!
Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Coop, this has been a live show that people have been asking for quite a while.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to be getting to a fan-led mock draft. It'll be towards the end of today's show. We're going to get to all of our segments today. We got 3 of them for you. And then we'll get into the fan-led mock draft today at the end of today's show. So make sure you guys stick around for that.
He's coming in hot, Spare Dog.
Oh, Kurgan Cold is coming in hot, baby. We got the Super Chat stickers back this week. Kurgan Cold with the $6 Super Chat. And now we wait. And now we know it's coming.
It's coming.
Come on. When is Kurgan going to drop it?
What up, Kurgan?
Kurgan, good to see you, man. He's going to drop that 9 eventually. And when Kurgan Cold drops that 9, make sure you spam nice down there in the chat.
We got Lazaro from Costa Rica, baby. He says Costa Rica is Steelers country.
Lazaro.
Everywhere is Steelers country.
Lazaro, what's up, man? Good to see your face. Good to see everybody in the chat today. It's a beautiful Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
Russell Wilson and Justin Fields are on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And by the way, Coop, you were not here for our live show when Justin Fields got traded.
I was not.
Because you were...
I was doing something else.
Doing something else, and you're a little... look who's here! We got Jeremy Steelers! Here we go! Here we go, Steelers! Here we go! Here we go, Steelers! Here we go! Jeremy!
You want to hear a joke?
Yeah, sure.
The Cleveland Browns!
Shout out to Jeremy Chugs stopping by the studio today. Everybody spam Chugs in the chat. Let's go. So, Coop, we didn't get the opportunity to hear your take on the Justin Fields trade. So, what are your feelings on that?
I was surprised when I saw it because I thought Russell Wilson was going to be the big QB move of the offseason for the Steelers, but then
he still is.
He still is, but then they traded Kenny Pickett, thus creating a need for a backup quarterback. It appeared the Justin Fields market had evaporated completely.
Yeah.
So the Steelers were like, hey, do you want a 2025 6th-round pick? We'll take Justin Fields. We know he's not your quarterback next year. And then Ryan Poles was like, F it. Here you go.
I mean, just an absolute fleece job from Omar Khan to Ryan Poles.
Is the Bears' daddy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, in the 2 trades that they have actually done, the Steelers have gotten Joey Porter Jr. and Justin Fields in exchange for Chase Claypool and a 6th-round pick.
Imagine.
It's just unbelievable the amount of fleecing that is going on right now. By the way, Kurgan Cold put in the 9.
Nices.
Everybody spam nice in the chat. We got a funny YouTube name down there. Everybody spam nice for a shout out. Come on now. We got Zach Kala. We got Kurgan Cold. We got Luke Mack. We got Rodolfo. We got Offsides Edits. We got Steelers Dad. We got Steve Young. We got Fernando. We got Steelers Prod. We got Nothing. We got Tristan W. We got Cibote. We got Sean. We got Owen. We got Broccoli. We got Kurgan down there. Thank you so much to Kurgan Cold for getting the party started today. Now, let me know down there in the comment section. It's also our pinned poll right now. Who plays more in 2024 as the starting quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers? Is it going to be Russell Wilson? Is it going to be Justin Fields? Let me know. Keep in mind, Coop, that if Justin Fields needs to play over half of the offensive snaps next year for
Correct.
that 6th round pick to turn into a 4th round pick.
And the only way that happens is if Russell Wilson, God forbid, has some catastrophic injury.
I completely agree because I think Russell Wilson's going to play great in this offense.
Agreed.
All right, I think that he is a perfect fit. All right, Russell Wilson has made a living on play action deep shots his entire career. What does Arthur Smith like to do? Play action deep shots. Russell Wilson was the number 1 rated quarterback in football last year when throwing with play action.
Arthur Smith loves the play action.
Arthur Smith, throughout his entire career, top 3 in the league in play action usage. So Russell Wilson is a perfect fit for this offense. He's got the big arm to pair with George Pickens. It sounds like Omar Khan is hunting aggressively for a star wide receiver to trade for, which is exciting. Could be Brandon Aiyuk. It could be Terry McLaurin. It could be Justin Jefferson, if you believe ESPN. I don't know. But
Brandon Aiyuk was tweeting Mike Tomlin earlier this week.
That's right. Tomlin's long-lost son, Brandon Aiyuk. $2 super chat here from Stable Alex. First-time super chatter, so let's give him some Ric Flair drip. Woo!
Shout out Stable Alex. Welcome into the show, my friend.
Appreciate you. Welcome into the show. And actually, Coop, I was thinking about this the other day. It's actually unbelievable that ESPN has predicted more things correctly this month than Jerry Dulac.
It is unreal.
Jerry Dulac's supposed to be the most respected name in Steelers among Steelers beat writers.
ESPN has been right more than he has. Oh, my.
How is Antonio Brown outpacing Jerry Dulac? That's actually unbelievable. But hey, if you would have subscribed to Steelers Talk, you would have known that we predicted the Russell Wilson signing a month before it happened. We predicted the trade destination for Kenny Pickett. We said 3 weeks before the trade that Pickett would go to Philly if he was traded. Also, we predicted the Justin Fields trade compensation just hours before it went out. So if you want the most accurate Steelers coverage here on YouTube, make sure you guys click that subscribe button. Here's our Super Chat menu today. Any Super Chat's going to get a shout out, get on the show, get on the mailbag. That's coming up later in the show. And then every $10 spent, you get 1 raffle ticket to win a 3D metal Steelers sign. Do we have the picture of the sign here? Can we show that real quick? Every $10 that you spend on the channel this month gives you a shot to win this awesome hex head sign. It's made out of metal. All right, you look at the nice background there with all the Super Bowl championship logos on there, and then it's actually a 3-dimensional sign. So like the Steelers helmet there, it pops out. So if you're looking for an awesome piece to fill out your Steelers man cave or something that would look really cool in your living room or in your bedroom, whatever the case may be, this thing would be perfect. Only $10 gets you a raffle ticket to win this at the end of the month. $20, we've got the Helmet Hall of Fame. It's starting to really fill up with names, guys. So if you want your name on there, $20 Super Chats. Get your name on the helmet. Then $100 in Super Chats total on today's show. Get you into Steelers Talk Gold Club for life. You get a shout out on every single Steelers live show. And then also you get a Super Chat sticker. Yes, Coop?
And later in today's show, we will be doing a fan-led mock draft.
Yes, we will. Yes, we are.
And if you want to make the pick, Super Chat will be your friend.
Yes, it will. Okay, so let's give our Gold Club members a shout out here like we do every single live show. Shout out to Austin, Mo Love, Brian, Anthony, Nathan, James, DJV, Patty, Elliptic 6, Alexander, Zach, Troy, Andrew, Jesse, Go Blue, Samuel, Hot Rod, Black and Gold Emperor 40, Lord Buddy Bear, Max Payne, Chad, F1, Steelers Dad, K Drizzy, Andrew, Jesper, Jacob, Nightmare, Sporting XD, DJ, Gwendolyn, Latanya, Etheria, Jesper, Jake, KJ, Kenny, Pickettsburg, Ryan, Marilyn, Matthew, and Brian Hagan. Also, Omar's Burner, Kyle King, and the Conquest King. Those are our Gold Club members. And then a special shout out here to our Black Diamond members. We currently have 11 of them here on Steelers Talk. These are the people, the crazy ones, that have put in $500 or more on a singular stream. So big shout out to Sam Pugh, F1 Video Watcher, Nathan Glass, Kurgan Cold, Go Blue Buckeye, Elliptic 6, Gwendolyn, Maryland, Melmar's Burner, Kyle King, and KJ Live Life. So we appreciate every single one of our Black Diamonds. And speaking of our Black Diamonds, we got a $10 Super Chat coming in from Kurgan Code.
He enters the raffle.
Well, he's already been answered.
Oh, yeah, he gets an additional.
He gets an
raffle
additional raffle ticket, all right? So Kurgan is really lining up those raffle tickets right now. Appreciate your support, Kurgan. You are a real one. All right, so now we're getting close to our first segment where I'm going to be reacting to all the top NFL draft media names that have updated their mock drafts.
Yep.
After week 1 of free agency, this is usually when people send out their next round of mock drafts. So I'm going to be reacting to Mel Kiper Jr., Daniel Jeremiah. Pro Football Focus put out a 3-round mock draft. That's coming up here in about 2 minutes. But make sure right now, if you want to get on the show, if you want to get on the mailbag today, hashtag Steelers along with your question down there in the chat or Super Chat to guarantee your question gets on the show. The only way to guarantee your question gets on the mailbag today is if you Super Chat. Speaking of Super Chats, we got one from Lee B. What's up, Lee
What
B?
up, Lee?
Good to see you. $10 Super Chat enters the raffle for the Hex Head sign. Says, great work on the channel. Y'all are always my go-to on the tube for Steelers Fresh Press. Bring on the season.
Shout out Lee B, baby.
Shout out to Lee B. Everyone spam Lee in the chat. Show him some love.
Also, Owen has this idea. We may have to cook up something.
All right.
He said, have to make a song for Omar.
We might have to make a song.
We'll get with our writers and our directors.
I mean, we officially retired the Mason Rudolph song last week.
He's gone.
So he's gone. So we're going to have to come up with a new song
and the
of some
Canada
sort.
song, gone.
And Canada song is gone too. I mean, we're going to have to come up with a whole new slate of songs.
We will.
It's going to be interesting, man. All right, so now let's get into our first segment today. Make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon if you haven't yet. We got 390 people in the chat right now. Only 114 likes, and I'm saying only because that's a lot of likes to kick off the show. But can we get to 125 likes? Can we get 10 more likes before we get into our first segment today? I appreciate you. Coop appreciates you. We love you. We appreciate you here. But we want to get to 125. We love you and we care about you.
Someone named Cassie Voth in the chat.
Yeah, who is this Casey Vuth?
Says, does your prediction of the season record change now with the new QB?
Guess we'll answer that on the mailbag. All right, make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon. I appreciate you. We just got to 400 people watching around the world. So without further ado, let's get into our first segment right now. Coop wants a little bit of a minute here. We got mock draft roundup here, okay? So we're going to be going over Mel Kiper Jr., Daniel Jeremiah, Joel Klatt, and Pro Football Focus just released their new mock drafts. And I'm going to let you know who they have the Steelers taking in round 1.
That's the right one, right?
That is the right one. And I'm going to be giving you guys my grades for their mock drafts. Also, I have my brand new Steelers mock draft coming up later in the live show. So it's going to be a good show, man. Lots of mock drafts.
Fan-led mock draft.
It is mock draft-a-palooza today, all right? So I'm reacting to other people's mocks. I'm gonna be putting out my own mock. You guys are gonna be making a mock today. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a lot of mock draft discussion. So without further ado, let's get into the first segment right now, the mock draft roundup for your Pittsburgh Steelers. With the first week of NFL free agency having come and gone, a lot of the big media personalities when it comes to NFL draft media are updating their NFL mock drafts. So today on Steelers Talk, I'm going to be reacting to all the big names and who they have the Steelers taking in round 1 of the 2024 NFL draft. But before I get into that, we actually put out a mock draft on the channel yesterday. So if you want to check that out, I'm going to put the link in the comments and description of today's show so you guys can see who I have the Steelers taking after week 1 of NFL free agency. And make sure you guys click that subscribe button right now to never miss any of our videos, whether it be a mock draft, whether it be draft targets, whether it be free agency targets, whether it be breaking news. We have you guys covered on all of it right here on Steelers Talk. We're approaching 50,000 subscribers here on the channel. Thank you so much for all of your support. If you haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button and join our family. So let's start with the guy that came first when it comes to the NFL draft media. He pretty much invented this entire industry, Mel Kiper Jr., with ESPN. And you know what? I don't always agree with Mel Kiper Jr. I think sometimes with some of his practices, he's still living in the 90s and the early 2000s, you know, and some of his takes and all this different stuff. But you know what? He has the Steelers taking Brian Thomas Jr., wide receiver out of LSU at number 20 overall. Now, there's a lot of rumors going around that the Steelers might trade that number 20 overall pick for a veteran wide receiver like a Brandon Aiyuk or a Terry McLaurin or maybe even somebody else. But I like Brian Thomas Jr. at the value there at number 20, and this is what Mel Kiper Jr. has to say about this pick. For new offensive coordinator Arthur Smith to really thrive, the Steelers should add a replacement for wideout Deontay Johnson, who was traded to Carolina. Thomas, who ran a 4.33 second 40-yard dash at the combine, has a tremendous blend of speed and size at 6'3". He caught 17 touchdown passes last season, leading the FBS. Pittsburgh had just 13 total touchdown passes in 2023. Thomas and George Pickens could form an exciting pass-catching duo. And Mel, I think kind of hit the nail on the head there, where I think Brian Thomas Jr. is a fantastic fit with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I would love to have him as the pick at number 20 on one condition, because right now there is a glaring need for the Pittsburgh Steelers that still hasn't been addressed, and if it's not addressed by the draft, I think it's going to have to be addressed in round one, and that is offensive tackle. And traditionally, you have to take a tackle early in the NFL draft if you want them to start right away, all right? So that's usually the way it works. Now, this is a draft class this year with lots of really good offensive tackle talent. It's a deep class, but even in this deep class, if you get an offensive tackle in round two, it's going to be somebody that's maybe toolsy, but maybe isn't ready to play week one. I want somebody that's ready to go right away, and if they don't get somebody in free agency, then I think that you have to go out and use this first-round pick on an offensive tackle. But if you want to go receiver in round one, I think a good option in free agency to go after here is David Bakhtiari. Now, I know what you're saying at home. Jack, Bakhtiari's always hurt, and you're right about that, all right? And he's also getting up there in age, but he is sticking to it here. He says he plans on playing in 2024. He's looking to win a Super Bowl. I mean, it kind of depends how he feels about Russell Wilson and Mike Tomlin and all these different things in the Steelers roster. But I could see Bakhtiari trying to sign that one-year deal, probably a real team-friendly deal as well. And when he's healthy and when he's on the field, he's one of the best left tackles in the National Football League. So if I'm the Steelers, I might want to take a nice little lottery ticket on David Bakhtiari in free agency. But let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. How should the Pittsburgh Steelers address the need at tackle this offseason? Type F if you want to address it in free agency, or type D if you want to get an offensive tackle in the draft. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show, so YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. When that happens, take advantage of that time by answering today's pinned question. Now let's get to Daniel Jeremiah. And listen, man, DJ is one of my favorite draft analysts. He's somebody that I really do respect in terms of the things that he says and all these different things, and his analysis is always pretty spot on, and he's usually one of the more accurate mock drafters out there in the space as well. But I got to tell you, man, I don't love this pick from Jeremiah where he has the Steelers taking Tyler Guyton, right tackle out of OU, at number 20 overall, and he has the Steelers taking Guyton over guys like Jackson Powers-Johnson and Amarius Mims, which is a big head scratcher to me personally, but this is what Jeremiah had to say. The Steelers have undergone a complete makeover at quarterback, but they still need an upgrade at tackle to play opposite last year's first-round pick, Broderick Jones. But my question to Jeremiah here, and I understand he cares a lot about tools, and Tyler Guyton is as toolsy as it gets, man. He's massive. He's got long arms. He's a great mover. I get why Daniel Jeremiah likes him because he's a tools guy. But taking him over Amarius Mims, who's also a tools guy, plus he has way better film than Tyler Guyton, I think is absolutely crazy. And then Jackson Powers-Johnson, I'd much rather have JPJ than Tyler Guyton because I think JPJ's ready to go right away, whereas Guyton is somebody that you're kind of hoping and praying develops by the time that he hits the field for the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers need somebody to start right now. I don't think Guyton is that type of guy. So personally, not a big fan of Daniel Jeremiah's pick here of Tyler Guyton to the Steelers at number 20 overall. Now, coming up here, I'm going to be going over Joel Klatt's latest mock draft. A pretty interesting pick here from Klatt for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But before I get into that, I want to talk about today's sponsor at PrizePicks. You can go to prizepicks.com/CLNS or download the PrizePicks app for a first deposit match up to $100 today. Today's Steelers Talk video is made possible by our friends at Prize Picks, and they've got specials for new and returning users alike for March Madness when you head on over to prizepicks.com/CLNS or download the Prize Picks app today. Football season is over, but the action on the hardwood is just heating up. Whether it's March Madness or the fight for NBA playoff seeding, there's no shortage of high-stakes basketball moments this time of the year. Get in on the excitement with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app, where you can turn your hoops knowledge into serious cash. March Madness kicks off this week, and you can pick more or less right now. Prize Picks is also giving us a free pick for Caitlin Clark's matchup on Saturday. Just select more than 0.5 points for Clark. I mean, I think we all know she's going to get more. She's going to at least one basket, all right? And then pair it with another winner for 3 times your money. Prize Picks is very simple to play. All you do is pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Get started now if you haven't already at prizepicks.com/CLNS and get a first-time deposit match of $100 when you go to prizepicks.com/CLNS or download the Prize Picks app today. You can pick more or you can pick less. It's that easy with our friends at Prize Picks. Now, Joe Klatt has the Steelers taking also an offensive tackle, J.C. Latham, out of the University of Alabama. And this one, I think I like a little bit better than Tyler Guyton, but I'm going to be honest with you guys, Latham isn't my favorite prospect for the Steelers to grab at number 20. This is what Joe Klatt had to say on his podcast the other day when he revealed his latest mock. Broderick Jones played right tackle as a first-round pick last year. I think he can move over to the left. That's where he played at Georgia. So for me, I think the Steelers go offensive line here, and they go J.C. Latham. Now, I do think that Latham is a legitimate possibility for the Steelers to consider. All right, they formally met with him at the Combine this year. Mike Tomlin decided to go to the Alabama Pro Day over a lot of different teams this year. So there's definitely some offensive players that the Steelers are considering this year. I do think J.C. Latham is one of them. He's a hulking run-blocking right tackle. I mean, he's exactly what the Steelers are looking for, all right? So he does fit the mold of what the Steelers want in their future right tackle. I do think the Steelers want to eventually move Broderick Jones over to the left side. But honestly, guys, Latham isn't my first choice. I would take Talisi Fuaga and Amarius Mims at offensive tackle before I would take J.C. Latham. And honestly, I might take Jackson Powers-Johnson in the first and then take my chances on offensive tackle in the second, overtaking Latham in the first, especially if JPJ is still on the board, because Latham is still relatively raw, especially as a pass protector, and he needs to get better in that area of his game, and that makes me a little bit worried, especially if you're going to be plugging him in week 1 to protect Russell Wilson in this offense. Now let's get to Pro Football Focus's latest 3-round mock draft, all right? So they're definitely getting into these longer mocks here. And, of course, the Steelers have 4 picks in the first 3 rounds. So we got 4 picks to react to here, starting with their first pick in number 20. And they're going to go corner for the Steelers, Cooper DeJean out of Iowa. And if you guys have been watching the show for a while, you know how I feel about DeJean. All right, he is somebody that is super versatile, can play safety, can play nickel, can play on the outside. He's like a souped-up version of Brian Branch from last year, whereas Branch was an uninspiring athlete but one hell of a football player. Cooper DeJean is very similar, where he has versatility, but he is souped up as an athlete. Now, I do think he's going to maybe fall a little bit because of the leg injury that he suffered last year at the University of Iowa. But at the end of the day, man, this guy is absolutely a bona fide number 1 pick, or round 1 pick, I should say, and I would be psyched out of my mind if the Steelers ended up getting him. Then in round 2, I really like this pick here. From Pro Football Focus, they have Zach Frazier, somebody who grew up in Pennsylvania. He's got Yinzer written all over him, in my opinion, man. The center from the Mountaineers falls to the Steelers here at number 51. If he falls to number 51, I do think the Steelers are going to pull the trigger. Then in round 3, they have the Steelers going with another behavior issue red flag wide receiver in Jermaine Burton from Bama. Now, Burton is somebody that has had behavior issues in the past. Let's just call it what it is. But he's extremely talented. I mean, tell me if you've heard that one before. Of course you have with George Pickens. So if he's available here in round 3, Burton, if he didn't have those red flags with his personality or questions about his love for the game weren't there, you can make an argument he's a first-round pick. He is that talented, even in this loaded wide receiver class. So in round 3, from a talent perspective, this would be an absolute steal. But after just getting rid of Deontay Johnson because of the influence he was having on George Pickens, does it really make sense to be bringing in another red flag behavior type wide receiver in Jermaine Burton? I guess we'll see how Mike Tomlin shakes out on that. Then also in round 3, Jarrian Jones, cornerback from Florida State. Now, you guys have seen me mock the other Florida State corner, Renardo Green, to the Steelers multiple times. Jarrian is more, even though he's a little bit bigger than Renardo, actually, he plays in the slot. So he'd be more of a slot guy for the Pittsburgh Steelers, even despite the fact that he's almost 200 pounds. So he's a former safety, moved to corner at Florida State, and he really thrived there. So I do think that he's a pro prospect. I think he's going to be a really good slot corner in the National Football League. Might be able to move outside. I guess we'll have to see on that. But in round 3, getting a really good slot corner in Jarrian Jones is something that I would like. Now, the one thing that I don't like about this mock draft from Pro Football Focus is that they don't take an offensive tackle. All right, and the Steelers don't have that position addressed. I mean, Dan Moore Jr., I mean, let's face it, guys, he's a decent swing tackle at best. He's not a true starting left tackle in this league. And if they don't address it in free agency by the draft, I don't see how they go corner over offensive tackle in round 1, with all due respect to Pro Football Focus. So here's my grades for these mocks, and I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm giving the highest grade to Mel Kiper Jr., all right? I disagree with Mel on a lot of things, all right? But I like the pick with Brian Thomas Jr., especially if they can get a guy like David Bakhtiari in free agency. And that's the only reason why it's not an A, in my opinion. And then you get to Daniel Jeremiah with Tyler Guyton, who I do not think is ready to play right away. I'm going to give that one a D because he needs someone to start. Joel Klatt going with J.C. Latham. I'm going to go with a C- because I'd probably rather have Jackson Powers Johnson at that point. Because Latham still has a little bit of a ways to go, in my opinion. And then Pro Football Focus with Cooper DeJean. I mean, I love DeJean. I think he'd fit perfect in this defense, and this defense would get even better with a versatile weapon like that. So I'll give that one a B. But let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. Which one would you take? These 4 players, if you could only choose between these 4, the guys that the mocks that we have reacted to today, which one are you taking? Are you taking Brian Thomas Jr., type BT? Taking Tyler Guyton, type TG? Are you taking J.C. Latham, type JC? Or if you'd rather go with the corner there with Cooper DeJean, type CD down there in the comments section. That'll be it for today's show, guys. I appreciate you sticking with me here to the end of today's show. Make sure you click that subscribe button right now because we're going to have a bunch of great Steelers draft content coming your way in the coming weeks. You're not going to want to miss it. So make sure you click that subscribe button right now. All right, first cut, done, and over with.
I like Brian Thomas Jr.
I love him, man. I mean, at his size, he's like 6'3", over 210 pounds, big guy. And he had the second best 10-yard split, so his acceleration is like through the roof, especially at his size. And then the 40-yard dash time, 4.33 at over 210 pounds. I mean, like, Xavier Worthy is unbelievable in terms of like the straight line speed, but I mean, he had to cut weight before the combine just to break the record, right? So I don't think Xavier Worthy is running 4.21 when he's at his football size.
I don't think he cut weight, did he?
He did.
Really?
He cut weight to try and break the record, and he did.
Interesting.
So
I thought he played at 165.
So I think that's what Texas had him at.
But that's not what he was.
But that's not what he was. So I do think that Brian Thomas Jr., you combine his deep ball ability. He tracks the deep ball better than pretty much anybody in this class. He's got the incredible athleticism and the acceleration and the speed. And, of course, he's got the size. So if you combine Brian Thomas Jr., arguably the best true deep threat in this year's class, with George Pickens and Russell Wilson, who we all know has a rocket launcher attached to his right shoulder.
Yes, indeed.
I think that could be one of the best wide receiver duos in the National Football League for a very long time. But like I said, Coop, you got to take care of tackle.
100%.
Because
you have to figure out tackle.
Plain and simply.
Can't play Dan Moore Jr.
All right. As much as we like to talk about the quarterbacks here on Steelers Talk because it's exciting and it's fun to talk about, the foundation of the offense next year is going to be the run game with Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren and that offensive line. Right now, you have Dan Moore Jr. and Broderick Jones. I don't trust Dan Moore Jr. like at all. Obviously, you have nobody to play center right now. I mean, right now, Nate Herbig would be your starting center, and he's a complete mismatch skill set-wise from what they want out of a center in this offense. So
it just can't be.
It just can't be Nate Herbig, all right? I know he's got the third highest cap hit on this offense right now.
Which is crazy.
But I don't think you can play Nate Herbig as your starting center next year.
Also, I just want to say this about the receivers. The Steelers are in a position where they can get a marquee wide receiver in the draft, whereas the Browns just extended Jerry Jeudy, who drops more balls than anyone in the NFL.
I mean, the Browns are going to Brown, man. I mean, they haven't seen a single play of Jerry Jeudy in that offense with Deshaun Watson.
They're a joke of an organization.
They're a joke, and they just gave him a 3-year extension. I mean, they're going to regret that decision big time. And we got Black Diamond Alert, a $50 Super Chat from Maryland, Krieger. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Let's go, baby. Maryland with a $50 Super Chat. Thank you. Thank you so much, Maryland, for all of your support of our channel and what we do here. You are a real one. If you got a question that you want to get on the mailbag, feel free to send something in.
Yes, please.
Coop will make sure to get it on there. So make sure, guys, hashtag Steelers or Super Chat. I don't know where we're at in terms of questions.
I think we're good here.
We're good? Okay. So to kind of finish my point on the offensive line, I don't want Dan Moore Jr. as your starting tackle next year.
He can't be.
And, like, if you want somebody to start day one, you have to probably get them in round one.
Yeah, at tackle, you have to get him in round one.
So listen, I think the choices right now is like get like a Mekhi Becton or a David Bakhtiari, somebody like that in free agent, or Donovan Smith even in free agency to play left tackle, and then you can maybe address that need later with somebody that's a little bit more toolsy, maybe can take over for him if he stinks, but or gets injured, because we all know Bakhtiari's always hurt. But, like, if you need a starting tackle heading into night one, you have to address it night one.
100%.
Plain and simple. You can get a center on day two. You can get a wide receiver on day two. You can get a corner on day two.
You can find impact at those positions
Exactly.
on day
You
two.
can find starters at those positions on day two. You cannot find a day one ready
Even
offensive tackle on day two of the draft this year. You just can't do it.
You can find a starting center on day two if you want.
Exactly. And especially not at number 51.
Yeah.
You know, because like Blake Fisher might go to like early round 2. There's some other guys that are pretty decent that might go early round 2 as well. But like if you're waiting until number 51 to take a tackle, you're going to be stuck with like Patrick Paul out of Houston. I'm not doing that,
He's
man.
too raw.
I'm definitely not. He's way too raw to play right away. Ricky Campbell with a $10 Super Chat. Guess who just entered the raffle?
Shout out Ricky.
At the end of the month. Says, so do you think the Steelers will get Brandon Aiyuk or Tyler Boyd?
We'll answer that in about 2 minutes.
On the mailbag. We will answer that on the mailbag, Ricky. That's a good question. Can't wait to answer that one. Are we ready to get things going?
I think we are here.
Alrighty. Let's get into this mailbag. We still got the fan-led mock draft coming up later in the show, so don't go anywhere. We've got my latest Steelers mock draft coming up. But first, let's take your questions on this week's Steelers Talk Live mailbag. Welcome into the show, Steelers Nation. My name is Jack Sperry, the host of Steelers Talk, and today I'm going to be answering your questions on the black and gold here. There's been a lot of moves that have happened over this offseason. Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, Deontay Johnson getting traded, a whole 9 yards, and I can't wait to take questions on this team and kind of shed some light on how I see the Pittsburgh Steelers at this point in the offseason. Before we get into the show today, make sure you guys click that subscribe button and join the most interactive Steelers community here on YouTube with Steelers Talk by Chat Sports. All right, we try to keep you guys involved as much as possible. Breaking news live shows. We have a weekly live show every single Wednesday where you guys have the opportunity to ask your questions and get on the weekly mailbag. I really do appreciate all of your support. So if you want to join a community of 50,000 rabid Yinzers that love the black and gold, do me a favor right now. Click that subscribe button right now. And with that, let's pause and open it up for questions. Starting with my man, Ricky Campbell. Says, so do you think the Steelers will get Brandon Aiyuk or Tyler Boyd? If you're asking me which one's more likely, it's Tyler Boyd. Brandon Aiyuk, I think that the asking price is going to be pretty high. The report is they wanted Jacksonville's first-round pick, number 17 overall, plus Zay Jones, a wide receiver, in exchange for Aiyuk, and the Jaguars said no. So with the Steelers, you can assume it's probably a first-round pick, and they might even be asking for like a Calvin Austin III, something like that, another kind of lower-level receiver. And, you know, there's a big debate going on about this on Steelers Twitter or whatever. And for me personally, guys, I don't want to give up the first-round draft pick for Brandon Aiyuk personally, especially when the offensive tackle need has not been addressed. All right, and this is the same thing goes for drafting a wide receiver at number 20. All right, the offensive tackle need is a must. I do not want Dan Moore Jr. starting at left tackle next year. I'd rather move Broderick over to the left side and get somebody in the draft or in free agency to play right or left tackle. But if that's a need on day one, I think the Steelers have to address it. If you trade away the pick, you can't address it. So right now, if you want to get David Bakhtiari in free agency, go ahead. Trade for Brandon Aiyuk. He's a hell of a player. But you have to make sure you get the trenches right, especially heading into next year. So that's where I'm at. Would you trade a round 1 pick in exchange for a star wide receiver? And make no mistake about it, guys, Brandon Aiyuk is a star receiver. He was second-team All-Pro last year. Amazing route runner. He is the real deal, man. Type yes or no for today's pinned comment. YouTube's going to throw an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. When that happens, take advantage of that time, but give me a yes or no to the question, would you trade a round 1 pick for a star wide receiver? Then we get one here. K9 Ty says, will Thomas drop to 20? Talking about Brian Thomas Jr., I believe, out of LSU. I think there's a chance. All right, now there's certainly an opportunity for the Jacksonville Jaguars to potentially get him at number 17. Trevor Lawrence, we know, has a big arm. That might be a fit there to replace Calvin Ridley. I don't know, all right? And you never really know how the draft board is going to fall. But I think that there's a chance, given how many awesome receivers there are in the NFL draft this year. And I think there's actually a pretty decent chance because, like I said, you got Adonai Mitchell, you got Ladd McConkey, you got Xavier Legette, you got a bunch of really good wide receivers in that tier of wide receiver. And there's definitely a chance Thomas is there for the Steelers at number 20. Then we got one from Jed Burris, and he says, do you think we trade back up into the second with all the picks we have to give us a first and 2 second-round pick, giving us a shot at 2 good offensive linemen and a wideout? So let me kind of okay. So he's saying essentially use like the 2 third-round picks that we have to move up into the second round. I'm not going to say that it's impossible, especially if like Xavier Legette is falling in the second round and he's still available, and you've already gotten like, say, I don't know, Amarius Mims and Zach Frazier, and he's still available like at the end of round 2. Absolutely, I could see the Steelers getting out and going for Xavier Legette, who reminds me a lot of A.J. Brown. Perfect fit for Arthur Smith's offense. Absolutely fantastic player. I love Xavier Legette. And right now, Pro Football Focus thinks he's going to be a second-round pick. All right, so I absolutely think that Xavier Legette is somebody that's worth trading up for. And if the opportunity strikes, Jed, I would absolutely trade up into the second round with those 2 third-round picks. Then we got one from Fernando Martin here. Oh! Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. This one's coming in from Fernando Martin. Bang! Shout out to Fernando for the $100 super chat. And welcome to Steelers Talk Gold Club. That's absolutely awesome, Producer Cooper. You know what else is freaking awesome? Our friends at Fanatics, and they currently have a bunch of great deals on a bunch of Steelers t-shirts, super stylish, and because it's the off-season, you can get the best deals possible on these t-shirts. Here's one that we have right now on the Fanatics website. It's an awesome, clean, simple throwback Steelers helmet on a black t-shirt. Really good for lounging around the house, perfect for game days as well. You can go chatsports.com/throwback to get this t-shirt in your closet today. Make sure you go now so that you can still get yours in your size. I know they're running out in select sizes. Just go to chatsports.com/throwback. right now. Use that link for a special deal from our friends at Fanatics. Then we got a $5 super chat, and a first-time super chatter, some Ric Flair drip. Woo! From Pingu says, what do you think about drafting Luis Rees-Zammit? Greetings from Switzerland. Can't say I'm familiar with Luis Rees-Zammit.
So Luis Rees-Zammit is a rugby player turned football player and is coming over to America to play in the NFL.
Is he draft eligible?
I believe he is going through the International Pathway Program.
Okay, that makes sense. Because I was gonna say, like, I've been getting into the film here lately, man. I've never heard of this guy. Interesting idea. What do you know? What position he plays? Running back. I mean, you need a third running back. I wouldn't hate it. Greetings from Switzerland. Appreciate you. And I don't know what the CHF is, but I appreciate your $5 super chat there, Pingu. Thank you so much for your support. Then we got one from DJ KJ, Gold Club member here, says, what are the odds we trade back in the first round? If you're asking me for a percentage here, maybe 10 to 15%, because I really do think that right now we're on a trajectory for them to take an offensive lineman in round one, and you already have 4 picks in the first 3 rounds, all right? It's not like you need a bunch more draft capital, all right? So I think that if there's somebody that they really like there in round 1 at number 20, I think they're going to stay put. I'll probably put it at a 10 to 15% chance they trade down at this point. Then we got one from Z Spot here. He says, what % chance do you give Justin Fields to eventually start over Russell Wilson next year? So another % chance here. So I'll give him, again, a 10 to 15% chance, 10%, because I do think Russell Wilson's going to play well this year. I think that he's a perfect fit for Arthur Smith's offense. I think that pairing him up with George Pickens and whatever wide receiver that they're going to pair him up with is going to be really good. You still got Pat Freiermuth. You got a good receiving back in Jalen Warren. I think the offensive line is going to continue to get better. And, of course, he's got Mike Tomlin as his head coach and that defense to back him up. So I think Russell Wilson's going to be just fine. And barring an injury, I don't really see Justin Fields hitting the field in 2024. I think Russ is going to do just fine. But let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. What is the % chance Justin Fields starts over Russell Wilson at some point this year? Put it on a scale of 0 to 100 for me down there in the comments section. Then we got one from Marilyn Krieger here. Black Diamond says, you may have already addressed this, but who's our best option for a center? So if you're talking about the best overall solution, it's Jackson Powers-Johnson, all right? All the big center free agents are gone, all right? So I'm not even sure if they're going to sign a center anymore because there's just nobody left available other than Connor Williams, but he's dealing with that ACL tear, and he might not be ready to go for camp. All right, so I don't know if Connor Williams is a possibility either. But right now, I really like Jackson Powers-Johnson. He's the only guy that I'd take in round 1. He's definitely the number 1 guy in this class, really special guy. But I'd also go with guys on day 2. Zach Frazier out of West Virginia, day 1 starter. Cedric Van Pran out of Georgia, day 1 starter. Bo Limmer out of Arkansas, day 1 starter. Graham Barton, day 1 starter. There's a lot of guys in this draft class that can start on day 1 at center, in my opinion. I think that that's certainly something that they're going to address by the end of day 2, so the end of round 3 in this year's NFL draft. Then we got one from Ant Dollar Sign. Says, do you think we will use Justin Fields in Wildcat situations like how the Saints use Taysom Hill? Ant Dollar Sign, yes, absolutely. All right, it would be malpractice not to use Justin Fields in this manner. All right, now is he going to be on the field like all the time? No. Okay, like they're going to have a package for him. They're going to have certain plays for him. They might even have some packages where Russell Wilson and Justin Fields are on the field at the same time. That would be a lot of fun. And then also, I think that he's going to be the 4th and short, 3rd and short, 4th and goal kind of guy where he's going to be like the QB sneak quarterback. He's going to be the tush-push guy because he's big, he's strong, and you know that he can get that push, all right? So I do think Justin Fields is going to have a certain package, and he will play in 2024, but I just don't think he's going to start over Russell Wilson. Then we got one from Ethan Browning, and he says, what are the chances that Dante Jackson gets moved to the slot next season? This is an interesting question, Ethan, because I think Dante has the skill set and the physical profile to play in the slot, all right? He's like 5'10", all right? That's super short for an outside corner. He's fast. He's shifty. I think his aggressiveness and his physicality would really work well and that like Arthur Maulet blitzing nickel cornerback role that Mike Tomlin utilized when Mike Hilton was here. I really think that'd be good. But obviously it depends on who they bring in at corner via the draft or via free agency. They obviously still have a need at that position. And he's only played outside corner throughout his career. So I think it's going to be interesting to see what the Steelers decide to do with Dante. We know Mike Tomlin likes to move guys. He moved Patrick Peterson to safety a little bit. He tried making Kevin Dotson into a left guard. That didn't work. He's a right guard. So Mike Tomlin has a history of doing this kind of thing, and I'm not going to completely rule it out because I do think Mike Tomlin likes to do this. So will Dante Jackson be moved to the slot? Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. I certainly think it's possible. I would be interested to see what it would look like, especially if Corey Trice Jr. comes in the camp next year and absolutely starts balling out. But let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section with a yes or no. And that's going to be it for this week's mailbag. Thank you to all of you that submitted questions this week. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button right now if you haven't already. And then join us every single Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our weekly Steelers Talk live show where you can get your question on next week's mailbag. All right, $10 super chat from my man, Daryl. Let's go, Daryl. Good to see your face, my friend.
How about us getting a new Gold Club member in the middle of our cut?
Dude.
My man, Fernando.
My man, Fernando.
Let's go.
I'm surprised.
That fired me up.
I mean, Fernando with a $100 super chat, and he joins Steelers Talk Gold Club for life. Let's swing these towels a little bit more, Coop, for my man, Fernando. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Oh, everybody, you know what you forgot, Coop?
I didn't forget shit.
You didn't put Cassie's question in there.
There were too many?
No, you kicked somebody else out for Cassie. You know the rules.
I didn't know the rules.
Everybody spam F Coop in the chat.
Not F me.
Because Cassie had a question, and she didn't get it on the mailbag. So everybody spam F
Cassie,
Coop in the chat.
You know the rules. If you super chat, you skip the line.
That is true. I mean, if there's anything that Coop's right about here, but also
I run this ship.
But also
I'm the captain.
But also our bosses have told us for Cassie to not super chat. So, like, what is she supposed to do here, Coop?
You don't have to listen to the bosses. They're not watching. Yeah, Kurgan's got my back. Kurgan's got my back. If nobody got me, Kurgan got me.
Kurgan loves his Jeffrey Cooperstein.
If this show wanted to go off right now, I could make that happen. That's all I'm saying.
Cassie says, shame on Coop. What do you have to say for yourself?
You know what, Cassie? We'll talk later.
Well, okay. They're gonna settle it down.
We may have to hash some.
You might have to come over for some Pizza Hot dish tonight. All right.
Pizza Hot dish.
Break some bread. All right, man. So we got one more segment to get to today. I got my updated Steelers mock draft. So we've been talking a lot about draft stuff today. I've reacted to a bunch of different people's mock drafts: Mel Kiper, Daniel Jeremiah, Joel Klatt, all these guys. Now it's my turn. All right. Now it's my turn. I got a 7-round mock draft ready for you guys after week 1 of NFL free agency. Right after this cut, we're going to be getting into the fan-led mock draft. So you don't want to go anywhere.
It's going to be a doozy.
It's going to be fun. First, I'm up. I'm going to share my mock draft. Then it's your turn, all right? So make sure you guys get ready for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's our first one we've ever done here on the channel, so hopefully it goes smoothly.
If it doesn't, it'll go smoothly. Don't worry about it.
If it doesn't go smoothly, get the F Coops in the chat, all right?
Cassie said I thought we were friends. Cassie, don't worry. We're still friends.
All right, man. Let's get into it right now. It's not the mock draft roundup, Coop.
No, it's not.
That would have been bad. All right, let's get into this. Sperry's mock 4.0 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. All my other mocks are up on the channel right now if you want to check them out.
In a moment.
And Coop needs to get the graphics ready.
I don't know why this one's not in here.
David Bauer says he wants to sign Julian Blackmon. I mean, I think that they probably made that kind of signing when they got Deshaun Elliott. I think that, but honestly, I don't want DeMonte KZ here anymore. And, I have a lot of respect for DeMonte and the career that he's had. And he's a great guy in the locker room. But you could save $3 million by getting rid of him, and he completely lost his legs last year, man. You remember towards the end of the year, I mean,
he was cooked.
He was cooked, man. He was like a half-field safety, and like he was getting cooked on deep routes. That's unacceptable.
I also think the Steelers, maybe I'm wrong on this. I think the Steelers kind of overused him. Like I think he played too much.
Yeah, I mean, he had a really good, strong finish to the 2022 season, which is a big reason why he got that next contract with the Steelers. He got a 2-year deal last offseason because he played so well at the end of the year. But last year, he just did not hold up. So I would actually be in favor. If you can get Justin Simmons at a discount, replace DeMonte KZ with Justin Simmons. Can you imagine the 3-safety package of Justin Simmons, Minkah Fitzpatrick, and Deshaun Elliott? It's the best in the league.
Do you have Elliott playing closer to the line?
Yeah, he'd be the box guy. He'd be like the hybrid linebacker type. He would be the Terrell Edmonds.
That would be crazy.
Unbelievable. And also the disguises that you could run with that, straight up lethal. We got a black diamond in the chat right now. Samuel Pugh, everyone give it up for Sam, says, should we sign Connor Williams for a biscuit? I mean, I'd be fine with it.
For a biscuit? Sure.
I mean, Connor Williams was the number 1 graded center in football last year.
Which is crazy considering how bad he was like the year before.
Yeah, 2022, he was arguably the worst starting center in the game. And then in 2023, he was the best, according to Pro Football Focus.
It's wild. I mean, he's played all over, too. He started at tackle, then he moved to guard with the Cowboys, and then the Dolphins moved him to center. So,
But you know where I've seen this before, though? Mason Cole.
We don't want another Mason Cole.
Now, granted, Mason Cole was never number 1 graded center in football, but he had a pretty decent 2022 season.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I remember last year I suggested that the Steelers might want to consider replacing Mason Cole down the road. Like,
and then everyone was like, no way.
And everyone was like, what are you talking about? Mason Cole is so good. Why do you want to get rid of him? And I told you guys, this is why you subscribe to the channel. This is why you subscribe. Man. All right?
Mason Cole stinks.
Mason Cole. Not only did we have the Russell Wilson news a month before anyone else, but we also had the Mason Cole stinks news a whole year before anyone else.
Never forget Jerry Dulac said that there was a 100% chance Deontay Johnson was going to be on the roster, and then they traded him 8 days later.
CTESPN has been more accurate than Jerry Dulac this offseason, which is unbelievable. All right, now let's get into the mock right now. Coop's got all the graphics ready to go. My updated Steelers mock draft after the initial surge of NFL free agency is coming at you right now. The first week of NFL free agency has come and gone, which means now it's my time to update my 7-round Steelers mock draft. This is my 4.0 version for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I cannot wait to share with you my picks today. But before we get into it, make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon if you want more draft content here on the channel, all right? We're getting to that point in the year where it's kind of in between free agency and draft stuff. So if you want to kind of shift more to the draft content, let me know right now by clicking that thumbs up icon to kick off today's show. So here are the Steelers draft picks that they currently hold after trading Deontay Johnson, trading Kenny Pickett, and then acquiring Justin Fields, all right? So after all the moves and all the trading last week, right now you have pick number 20, pick number 51 in round 2, 2 third-round picks now at number 84 and 98, respectively. You have a 4th-round pick at 119, and then you have 2 picks in round 6 at 178 and 195. 4 picks in the top 100 this year, so Omar Khan and the Steelers definitely have the ammo to add some very key starters to this lineup moving forward. Now, keep in mind, in this mock, I'm not going to be doing any trades this time around, so we are going to stick with the structure here. Without further ado, let's get into this mock here, starting with the 1st-round pick, where I'm going to have the Steelers take Georgia offensive tackle Amarius Mims. Now, Mims is the number 4 ranked offensive tackle on my big board right now. You can see my big board rankings right here. I got Joe Alt, Alufashanu, Troy Fotano ahead of Amarius Mims because I think that all three of those guys can play on the left side. I think Amarius might be more of a true right tackle. But listen, man, Mims is really freaking good. On his film, he is a little bit green just because he hasn't played all that many games. But on his film, in the time that he has spent on the field, it's unbelievable, all right? The footwork is great. He's an underrated pass protector, all right? And he is a mauler in the run game, which is exactly what the Pittsburgh Steelers are looking for. So for me, if Mims is available here in round 1, you're not going to be able to get a guy like Mims in round 2, in my opinion. So I'm going to pull the trigger on that right now, put him on the right side, move Broderick Jones over to the left side, and you've got your starting tackle duo for the next decade here in Pittsburgh. Now, I could also see it being Talisi Fuaga. I had the Steelers take Fuaga in my last mock draft, and if he's here, he could very well be the pick because he is the best overall run blocker in this year's NFL draft class, in my opinion. Now, I think Mims might be a little bit more well-rounded, which is why if I were to be given the choice between the two, I'm going with Amarius Mims, but I really like Fuaga as well, so make sure you keep your eye on him. And the reason why I'm going offensive tackle here over center is because there are a lot of starting capable centers that can start on day 1 that you can get on day 2 in the draft this year, both round 2 and round 3. There's a bunch of guys. We're going to be talking about one of them here in just a second. But when it comes to offensive tackles, there's a lot of toolsy, high upside guys that you could get in round 2, but you're not going to get like a bona fide day 1 starter at that point. So I think Mims is that. I think that is the move here if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers. If you haven't addressed offensive tackle in free agency by the draft, it has to be an offensive tackle in round 1. So for me, I'm going to go with Amarius Mims, but let me know what you guys would do. If you were given the choice between Amarius Mims, Talisi Fuaga, or Jackson Powers Johnson, which offensive lineman are you taking? Let me know down there in the comments section. Type AM for Amarius Mims, TF for Talisi Fuaga, JPJ for Jackson Powers Johnson for today's pinned comment. YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. And when that happens, take advantage of that time, but let me know who you're taking in round 1. Now let's continue to build the offensive trenches here by taking that center here in Zach Frazier out of West Virginia. Now this is somebody that grew up in Pennsylvania, blue-collar kid, and it shows up on film. This guy is a mauler. This guy brings the energy to the field every single day. To the yard, and you just love it, man. You just love watching his film because you can see the motor, you can see the passion, and that has Pittsburgh Steelers center written all over him. All right, I think that he would be a day 1 starter in the league. You know, center is seen as a more of a low-value position because you get double team help a lot, right? Offensive tackle, you get a lot more one-on-ones. It's a lot more difficult to play offensive tackle than it is to play center in the league, but I think Zach Frazier brings the athleticism and the run blocking acumen that Arthur Smith is looking for in his starting center heading into 2024, and I think he'd easily be the Steelers' day 1 starter immediately once he is drafted. So coming up here, we're going to be going over rounds 3 through 7. In my mock so far, I've taken care of the offensive trenches. Now let's go a little bit more on the perimeter, but before I get into that, make sure you guys click that subscribe button because we're just getting started with our draft content here on Steelers Talk. We got Steelers draft news. We're going to have updates on all the guys the Steelers are meeting with before the draft, all the people that they're reportedly targeting. Also, we're going to have in-depth scouting reports on all the top prospects in this year's NFL draft, especially being targeted by the Steelers. We're going to have positional rankings for all the positions of need for the Pittsburgh Steelers heading into the draft. And then, of course, just like this one, we're going to have weekly Steelers mock drafts for you guys to enjoy. And oh yeah, guys, it's all 100% free. So if you're a big Pittsburgh Steelers fan, you want to join a community of almost 50,000 Yinzers that love this team just as much as you do, and you want to get yourself ready for the 2024 season, this is going to be the perfect place for you. Click that subscribe button for me right now. Then we get into round 3 here, and we're going to go corner. Renardo Green out of Florida State. Now, maybe a little bit undersized. All right, he is a bit skinny, but he's played a lot of press coverage in his day, and he's really good at using his hands, and he's really good at sticking with receivers. All right, so he's going to be knocked down a little bit to the 3rd round, but man, his grade in press man coverage was about as high as it could get last year on film. He is silky smooth, and I really like how he projects into the Steelers defense as a number 2 corner to Joey Porter Jr. moving forward. Would he start day 1? I'm not too sure, but he's certainly somebody that could show out in camp and earn the number 2 starting spot with the way that this guy sticks to people in man coverage. Then we'll get to the second round 3 pick here, and we're going to take somebody to fill out the defensive line. The Steelers are in need of defensive line depth. The starters are pretty good. You got Keanu Benton, Cam Hayward, and Larry Ogunjobi, but Ogunjobi is entering the last year of his contract. I'm not interested in bringing him back after this season. I would rather go out and get Michael Hall out of Ohio State, who is arguably, well, I'm not going to say he's the best because Byron Murphy is the best, but Michael Hall is a really freaking good pass rusher up the middle. Now, he's a little bit undersized, so he'd probably have to play the 5 technique in the Steelers' 3-4 front. But, man, he could absolutely replace Larry Ogunjobi immediately once he leaves in 2025, and he can work as a rotational piece on third downs in his rookie season, where he's not going to be asked to be an every down starter right away. I think this is the perfect landing spot for Michael Hall, who is an absolutely ravenous pass rusher up the middle, could be a really, really good contributor to this defensive line and pass rush for many years to come. Then we'll get to round 4 here, where I'm going to have them take Malik Washington. Yes, Malik Washington again. All right, I think in every single mock except one so far this draft season, I've had the Steelers take Malik Washington because I like him that much, guys. I love the value here in round 4, which is where he's currently projected to go. With all these great wide receivers in here in this year's draft class, Malik Washington is being put down the totem pole, and I don't understand why. I think I got a round 2 grade on him. He's a little bit undersized, but man, he is strong. He's a good run blocker. He's great after the catch. He's got better ball control and hands than most guys his size. I think he's exactly what the Pittsburgh Steelers are looking for in their future slot wide receiver. He also has the versatility to play on the outside if needed. I love the toughness. I love the skill set, and I love the yards after the catch ability in this Arthur Smith offense. If he's here in round 4, the Steelers better take him. Here in round 6, all right, so a bit of a jump here. I'm going to go with the tight end, Jaheim Bell. Now, I know what you're saying. Jack, we have Pat Freiermuth and Darnell Washington. Why are you taking a tight end? All right, well, you got Darnell Washington, who's like your true bruising run blocker. All right, then you got Pat Freiermuth, who's more of a receiving tight end. And then Jaheim Bell is also a receiving tight end. Now, Pat Freiermuth is a free agent heading into 2025. And I want Muth here for a long time. All right, but having 2 guys in Pat Freiermuth and Jaheim Bell, and by the way, Bell is my number 3 tight end this year, and right now Pro Football Focus is giving him to us in round 6. I just can't believe it. He's not much of a blocker, but man, he is a great receiving threat. And if you can combine the talents of Pat Freiermuth and Jaheim Bell as really dynamic receiving threats at the tight end position, with how much Arthur Smith loves to put 2 and 3 tight ends on the field at one time, I think in round 6, in terms of overall value for your team, you can't do much better than getting the Florida State tight end here on day 3. Then in the final pick here, Coop's clapping over here. He loves his Texas Longhorns. I'm going to take Jalen Ford. Really good coverage linebacker out of Texas. And listen, he's a little bit undersized. I don't love the diagnostics against the run. There's things wrong with Jalen Ford. There's a reason why we're taking him here on day 3. But man, when it comes to the pass defense, the zone coverage instincts, the ability to break up passes on third downs as a rotational inside linebacker, which is what you'd be bringing Jalen Ford in here to do, I think he fills that role immediately. And if you're getting a guy like that, a contributor on your defense here in day 3 in round 6, I think that's one hell of a value, and I'm absolutely pulling the trigger on Jalen Ford if he's here this late. Now, here's my mock draft haul here for my 4.0 7-round Steelers mock draft, taking Amarius Mims. Until they address the need in free agency, I'm probably going to continue to take offensive tackle in round 1, just because, like I said, the value is just not going to be there on day 2. Zach Frazier getting a really good day 1 starting center on day 2 to fill out the rest of the offensive line. Renardo Green, a great fit for this press man-heavy defense. Michael Hall to replace Larry Ogunjobi moving forward. Malik Washington as a really nice contributor in the slot next year offensively. Jaheim Bell to put alongside Pat Freiermuth and Darnell Washington in this tight end friendly offense. And then Jalen Ford there in round 6 as a nice rotational pass defense type inside linebacker. So grade my mock down there in the comments section, A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section with what I did with these 7 picks. Now, make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon if you haven't already. If you guys want more mock drafts, if you guys want me to get into my positional rankings, if you want me to go over more mid-round draft targets, if you want more draft content here on the channel, have your voice heard right now by clicking that thumbs up icon. And until next time, Steelers Nation, here we go, Steelers. All right, baby. All right, baby.
It's coming.
Time to get to our fan-led mock draft here on the channel. We got 500 people watching right now. All right, so Coop, do we have that list for?
We do.
All right, so let's show that right now. So we're going to go over the ground rules right now, and I don't think, oh, no, I did.
What are you looking for?
My phone. Okay, so here are the ground rules. We're going to be going over every pick for the Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, and we're going to give the people that want to super chat a chance to kind of influence things a little bit here. All right, so if you, at any point you want to make the pick, or if you want to trade the pick, in round one, it's going to be $100. All right, and if we get multiple $100 super chats, we're going to battle it out.
We'll battle, yeah.
They're going to battle it out, okay? Whoever spends the most. Rounds 2 through 3, $50 super chats, you get to make the pick or trade the pick. In round 4, $20 super chat, you get the power. And then in the final few rounds there, 5 through 7, $10 super chats, all right? So that's the way we're going to do it. We are going to do a mock at some point where it's just fans, like it's just pure polls, and we're not going to do super chats. But today we want to try it this way to give people that want to donate to the show a little bit more influence, so to speak. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a 3-minute shot clock. We're going to put a 3-minute shot clock on. We're going to put up a live poll with 4 options, okay, with 4 players that are going to be options for that pick. You guys are going to vote on who you want, and unless somebody super chats and kind of takes over the pick, we're going to go with whoever has the most votes at the end of it.
That's correct.
All right, so we're going to try it this way. If it gets a little bit messy, we might just do like a straight poll version next time. We wanted to give the people that are generous enough to super chat a little bit of an advantage. All right, so put 3 minutes on the clock. We're gonna share our screen here. Mr. Coop is in charge of this here.
Let me make sure I get the clock, John, right first.
All right.
I think this one goes up and not down.
So you guys have been asking,
Yes.
yeah. So you guys have been asking for this for weeks. So I wonder who's going to be that person that wants that round 1 pick. And again, you can make the pick or you can trade it if you send in that super chat, all right?
Hang on.
All right, Coop needs a little bit of a minute.
I know there's a way to do this because I've done it.
So in round 1, we're probably going to have a couple options. We're going to be doing a mock draft on the PFF mock draft simulator, all right? So we're just going to go with the options that we have available.
We're going to go up instead of down.
Did we get it?
Yeah, we're going to go up.
Okay, we're going to go up instead of down, apparently. Okay.
All right.
So restart the clock,
Yeah,
all right?
I am.
What's that?
I'm about to.
Okay. So just the Steelers.
Clock restart. Now, we select.
We select the Pittsburgh
Steelers.
Steelers. 7 rounds.
7 rounds. Enter draft.
Enter
Are
draft.
we ready?
Let's see what our options are here, folks. Start the draft.
There we go. The draft has begun.
No,
The
you have
clock
to-
starts. Ahora. All right.
You have to press start draft.
And we will start draft right now.
All right, so start the clock once we put up the live poll.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to end the current live poll. What are our options right now? So it looks like Cooper DeJean is the number 1 corner option, so we'll put him on there.
Clock reset.
What does our options look like in terms of tackles?
Let's see what we
So
got.
go to the filter there with positions.
Right here.
and then go to offensive tackle. All right, so it looks like our options are, we're going to put J.C. Latham on there.
Yeah.
What about center? Is JPJ available?
Let's check center. Do I just go back?
Yeah, so you just go back to that filter.
Oh.
No. You go back to the filter. So go to where the players are and then scroll up.
I'm all the way up.
No, you're not.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, I am.
No, you're not in the right spot with your cursor.
One moment. I'll figure it out. Draft the player. Trade. There we go.
There we go.
Center?
Yeah, interior offensive line. It's IOL. So Jackson Powers Johnson is available, just so you guys know. So he's going to be an option. And then how about we put a wide receiver on there as well?
We already got a corner, right?
We already got a corner. So what about wide receiver?
Wide receiver?
Brian Thomas. So do we put Adonai or Brian? I got to say Brian.
It's gotta be Brian.
Brian Thomas Jr. is going on there. So the live poll is officially, so round 1. Live poll is up. All right, so start the clock.
Timer begins.
Get your
now.
votes in. And again, a $100 super chat.
You're making the pick.
And you're making the pick
Or,
if the clock, so it needs to get to 3 minutes.
Correct. We also have trade options as well.
Absolutely. If you want us to trade the pick, you can send in that $100 super chat.
The Vikings are offering us 23. It appears.
23, huh? So that's a little bit of a go down a little bit.
No doubt.
So right now, the favorite is Jackson Powers Johnson, getting almost nearly half the vote. Brian Thomas Jr. is got about 30, though. So it looks like nobody wants the tackle. Nobody wants J.C. Latham.
And I don't blame him. He doesn't move it for me at 20.
Yeah, if you want to get a guy like J.C. Latham, I think you probably trade down. So we got about 2 minutes left here. A $100 super chat puts you in the lead to make the pick, all right? But just so you guys know, if a $100 super chat comes in and then another one comes in before we get to 3 minutes, then they're gonna have to battle it out.
No doubt about it.
Whoever spends the most in this 3-minute period is going to get the pick. And if nobody super chats that $100 super chat, then we're just going to go with the votes in the poll.
It looks like, is JPJ our leading vote getter?
JPJ is leading right now with about 45%. Cooper DeJean is catching up, though, at 22%. Brian Thomas is at 25%, and then nobody really wants J.C. Latham.
Can't blame him.
Clock is ticking here. Minute 45 in. Got about a minute left to go. So if someone wants to make this pick, a $100 super chat would do it. You get to join Steelers Talk Gold Club.
It looks like Bodie wants Cooper, but I don't know if we're getting Cooper here.
Bodie might have to send in that super chat, man.
Tell you what, man. Shout out to Cottage for subscribing. Welcome.
So right now it's looking like Jackson Powers Johnson. If you haven't gotten your vote in yet, now is the time. Is somebody going to snipe with a $100 super chat?
Who's going to do it?
I wonder who's going to come in.
It might be Kurt.
And by the way, as long as the player is available, you don't have to pick between those 4 options if you put in the $100 super chat.
That's correct.
You could get Jalen Ford.
You can get whoever you want.
You could pick whoever you want in round 1. All right, this is not my mock draft. This is your guys' mock draft.
All right.
Got about 15 seconds.
15 seconds.
No one sends in that super chat. It's looking like it's going to be JPJ here in round 1. 7, 6, 5, 4. Oh! There it is!
No way!
At the buzzer! This one's coming in from Jared Smith! Bang! And he wants JPJ! And he joins Steelers Stock Code Club. Here we go, Steelers! Here we go! Here we go, Steelers! just wanted to lock it in.
He did. He wanted to lock in
Jared-
Jackson Powers Johnson. You are a Pittsburgh.
Jackson Powers Johnson was already leading, but Jared was like, I don't want anybody swooping in and taking my pick away.
All right.
We're going Jackson Powers Johnson.
Draft.
Number 20 overall. All right.
Oh, did I F it up?
Yeah, you selected only one round. F Coop in the chat. Start a new mock draft.
We're doing this first time.
So over here, pick
Yep,
7.
Okay, now we're good.
All right, now we're good.
Hopefully JPJ's not taken.
I'm sure. I think he will be. Start draft. He's there.
We're good.
All right.
We're good.
So we're rolling.
All right.
Second round here. So let's look at the.
What
wide.
do we need here?
So wide receiver,
Okay.
offensive tackle, maybe inside linebacker, and corner.
Let's start with the receiver.
So let's start with receiver. Let's see if we can find a receiver to put on there.
I love all these receivers.
Oh my God, man! I like them all too. Can we put like a quick poll up for
We'll do
which
a quick
receiver?
poll.
We'll do a quick poll. All right, we'll do a quick poll on the channel to pick a receiver. So we're gonna put Troy Franklin on there.
Roman Wilson.
Roman Wilson.
Do we want to do Jalen Polk and McMillan? Just both of them?
Let's put Xavier Legette on there. Is he still on there?
Let's make sure Xavier Legette.
We're not putting Tez Walker on there because he
Heck no,
stinks.
he's ass. I don't know if Legette's still on here.
No, it doesn't look like it.
No, I think Legette's
So go down a little bit. Is Pearsall still on there?
No, Ricky was taken.
Ricky was taken, huh?
Ricky was taken. It looks like Worthy obviously was taken.
So we'll go McMillan.
Legette was taken at 37 before Worthy.
So I'll go down. So no, in the
this
positions.
I think we just go the two Washington fellas.
Okay, yeah, we'll go Jalen Polk too.
Which receiver?
All right, so we'll do this for a minute. All right, we have a minute long poll.
I'll just keep time on my phone.
We have it on there right now. No super chats, by the way. We're just gonna do poll for this one.
All right, let's see.
Roman Wilson, Troy Franklin, Jalen McMillan, or Jalen Polk are your options. Those are the top 4 receivers.
Is the national champion Roman Wilson?
Like Roman Wilson is in the lead. While they vote, let's find the other ones here.
Let's go. What else do we need here?
Offensive tackle. Let's see what tackles are available. So yeah,
Blake Fisher.
Yeah, we're gonna put Blake. I'd probably put Blake Fisher on there personally.
All right.
So yeah, we'll put Blake Fisher on there.
What else?
Corner. See if there's a corner. Max Melton's pretty good. Renardo Green is there. Is it too early to take Renardo?
That's a reach.
Let's put Max Melton on there. And then maybe what do we have an inside linebacker that's available?
I bet Jeremiah Trotter Jr.
Edgerrin Cooper, man. We might have to go Cooper.
Yeah, it's got to be Cooper.
Should we not put any corner on there and put a defensive interior lineman on there?
Let's go see what the
let's see what the
IDLs look like.
Yeah, let's see what because I think there's some pretty good ones on the board. Braden Fisk is still on the board.
We put him on the board.
Rook is on there as well. There's a lot of good
All right.
options, man.
So we're gonna go.
So
Roman Wilson.
So Roman Wilson's gonna be on there. And again, this one is a $50 super chat to make the pick.
That's correct.
Or trade it. Whatever you guys want. Roman Wilson, Edgerrin Cooper,
Braden Fisk.
Braden Fisk. And what was the other one?
It wasn't interior.
It was Blake Fisher.
Blake Fisher, yes.
All right. Poll is up. Put up the timer, Coop. 3 minutes.
Are we going 3 again on this one?
Oh, 2 minutes.
2?
Let's do 2 minutes on this one. Make sure you guys go vote. Right now, it's looking like Edgerrin Cooper's in the early lead. Now Roman Wilson is starting to come in here.
All right.
This one's pretty even, man. I'm not going to lie. But right now, Roman Wilson's got 40%.
Here we go.
Make sure you guys vote down there. It's the live poll. Guys got 2 minutes to get your super chats in.
I think Kurgan's going to come in here. I saw him in the chat. He's lurking.
You guys got 2 minutes. 2 minutes. $50 super chat gets you into the dance to make the pick. Whoever ends up super chatting the most in these 2 minutes will end up getting the pick. So if you send in a $100 super chat, that pretty much ensures that you're going to get it, because I don't know if anybody else is going to put in a 100. But the way it works is that person that puts in the most in super chats going to make the pick. Has to be at least 50. If it's not 50 or more, we're going to go to the poll. And right now, Roman Wilson is getting about 50% of the vote.
IRO, are you picking Roman
By the way, don't put it in the live chat. Make sure you vote on the live poll.
Yes, live poll.
I see a lot of people putting in the name of the player they want.
Maybe they already voted in the live poll.
Maybe they did.
Would you take Roman Wilson at 51?
I would.
You would?
He's a good player, man. Mike Tomlin type of guy. He already has an established relationship with him.
Is he a guy that...
High character kid.
Is he a hybrid kind of guy where you can play him inside, outside?
Probably more on the slot, but he can survive on the outside if needed.
30 more seconds.
30 more seconds here. I like Roman Wilson. We got about half of the votes are saying Roman right now. Is that going to be the pick here? Still no offensive tackle, by the way. At this point, Dan Moore Jr. is still our starting offensive tackle.
We're going to go find someone in free agency. Don't worry. All right. We got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Couple seconds just in case.
Give it a couple seconds to refresh.
Make the pick. Roman Wilson in round 2.
Roman Wilson, you are a Pittsburgh Steeler. Oh, never mind.
Oh, no. Jacob Wizerak comes in.
Oh, no.
Do we have to start a new
We're
mock?
going to restart it.
Put his super chat
Hang on, Jacob. We got you.
Jacob Wizerak with a $50 super chat.
Hang on, Jacob.
And he's going to take Braden Fisk.
Shout out, Jacob.
Shout out to Jacob.
All right.
So
let's regroup.
So let's reset.
All right.
JPJ in the first, Braden Fisk in the second.
JPJ first, Fisk second. All right.
This is the third time we've had the reboot.
Unbelievable.
Oh, right, my goodness. We're getting crazy here.
We already drafted this one. I'll just refresh it.
So shout out to Jacob, Gold Club member, taking Braden Fisk for us here.
All right. Let me make sure we've got everything set.
By the way, we're still on day 3. Or day 2, I should say. So it's still a $50 super chat to make the pick or to trade the pick here as we approach round 3. So round 1, Jackson Powers Johnson, center out of Oregon. Is he gone?
He's gone.
Well, keep doing it until he's not. F Coop in the chat for screwing up the mock draft again, man.
That's not even an F me. That's an F the PFF.
Yeah, I guess that is FPFF. So Jackson Powers Johnson in the first. Then we get Larry Ogunjobi's eventual replacement in Braden Fisk in the second. So at this point, still maybe need an inside linebacker. Still need a corner. Still need a wide receiver. Still need a tackle. So we'll see what our options here.
Fisk is listed under
interior defensive lineman.
He's gone again. We'll keep doing it until we get it.
Keep doing it until he's there.
We got you. Don't worry.
Don't go anywhere. We still got more of this fan-led mock draft here on Steelers Talk. First 2 picks in the book, Jackson Powers Johnson and then Braden Fisk out of Florida State. Coming to the Pittsburgh Steelers, according to you, the fans.
What a joke.
Still nothing?
No.
Oh my gosh.
He keeps going early.
It seems like we got pretty lucky that he made it to us.
Absolutely.
In that one mock. Keep going until
I'm going.
until Braden Fisk is there.
Jacob, we are in for the long haul, brother.
Jacob, we are here, my friend. He really went to like the very end.
Powers Johnson is there.
Yep. Then in round 2, still no? God.
Unbelievable.
Are you kidding me?
Blake Fisher is still there. But not Braden Fisk.
All right, this time,
We'll just act like it.
Next time, just take the best defensive tackle on the board, and we'll say it's Braden Fisk, okay? So in round 3, still need a corner, still need a wide receiver.
All right.
Could use an inside linebacker. Already taken care of center and interior defensive linemen. So it seems like you guys want to build the trenches. All right, we got it?
Yep.
All right, so we're in round 3 now. Pick number 84.
Still going to be 50.
Let's see what the wide receiver options are first.
You want to go wide receiver first?
Yeah, let's see what the receiving options are.
Take a look at what the Jits look like. Javon
So
Baker.
Javon Baker, I'm going to put him on there.
Brendan Rice.
Nah, not in round 3. Malik Washington is there. Nah, not in this pick. Not in this pick.
We'll put Javon Baker.
We'll put Javon Baker as the wide receiver option here. Okay, now let's look at offensive tackles. See if there's anybody available. Patrick Paul is still here.
That value.
Okay, Patrick Paul, we'll put him on there. Corner, Renardo Green, I'm guessing. Is he here? He is. Renardo Green, one of my favorite prospects in this year's draft for the Steelers, is still available. What did we do for the last one here?
Linebacker?
Yeah, what linebackers are available?
Jeremiah.
Jeremiah Trotter is available. We'll put him on there. So our options are about to hit your screen right now. Javon Baker, wide receiver. Patrick Paul, offensive tackle. Renardo Green, corner. Or Jeremiah Trotter Jr., inside linebacker. The poll is now on there. Start the clock, Coop. 2 minutes.
Begins.
Again, it is still $50 Super Chat to make the pick or to trade the pick.
And the early lead is Jeremiah Trotter Jr. His dad was a stud in the NFL.
He was. Now, the Steelers have Patrick Queen and a Landon Roberts.
Imagine this 3-man rotation.
So if you get Jeremiah Trotter Jr. and you got Cole Holcomb, who we it's a big question mark.
We just don't know what his injury status is.
So if you're getting Trotter here, he might be your 4th linebacker, whereas you still don't have a number 2 receiver.
We're trading for Brandon Aiyuk.
But right now, man, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. running away with it, 45%.
Yeah, he's dominating the votes right now. Make sure you go vote in the live poll.
Right now, we only got 57 votes. We got 350 people watching. Make sure you go down in the live poll and vote. 44% want Jeremiah Trotter. And, you know, man, Patrick Paul, he wouldn't be ready week 1, man.
He's just way too raw.
Yeah, and that's the thing about that's why, like, in my mock draft, I have the Steelers taking a tackle early, because if you're drafting a tackle to start pretty much right away, you have to get him in round 1.
100%.
You know, and, you know, things change if you get like a David Bakhtiari in free agency or somebody else, maybe like a Dominic Smith or something. But, what is this on Shohei Ohtani? Shohei Ohtani's interpreter, amid allegations of massive theft of Stars funds to cover gambling debts.
No way!
That's actually unbelievable. All right, here we go. And there's 2 minutes.
It's gone.
Give it a little bit of a break here. See if anyone puts in that. I don't see anything. Let's go with Jeremiah Trotter Jr. here in round 3.
I'm going to give it 10 more seconds.
Because like last time, it was really last minute.
1.
Just make the pick.
Jeremiah Trotter Jr.
You are a Pittsburgh Steelers.
Select.
All right. Now we get into the second third-round pick. This is the pick we got from the Eagles.
Number 98.
In the Kenny Pickett trade. So who are our options here? So we still need a receiver, still need a corner.
It's Brendan Rice is going to be your top option here. Jacob Cowing, Anais Smith, Malik Washington.
Honestly, out of these receivers, I like Malik Washington the best.
You like him better than Brendan Rice, really?
Yeah, I like the way he separates more. We'll put Jacob Cowing on there.
Okay.
As like a nice slot option. He'll be the receiver option. What do we got for corners?
Corners.
Ooh, I kind of like Jarvis Brownlee. Jarvis Brownlee, good press man corner.
Okay.
Would be a good fit. So I'll put Jarvis Brownlee on here.
Jarvis Brownlee.
Had a really good Senior Bowl this year. Let's see, what else? We already have interior defensive lineman.
Corner.
What about is there a tackle option? Maybe not at this pick.
No.
We'll put the pick kid on there, Matt Gonclaves though. We'll put Matt Gonclaves on there.
What about corner?
Yeah, what about corner?
DJ James?
Did we already put a corner on there?
We
put Brownlee.
Is it tight end season?
Nah, not at this point. Safety. Let's see if there's like. Oh, I like Taylor
Demerson.
Is that with it? Is his first name with an A or I can't remember.
Yes, Dadrion.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Taylor Demerson. All right, we've got our players selected. Now it's up to you. Who's it gonna be? We're gonna put it in there right now. 2 minutes on the clock, Mr. Coop.
Yes, sir.
We just sent it in the live chat. Make sure you guys go vote.
And here we go.
Jacob Cowing. Cowing's a good receiver. He's undersized.
That's what scares me.
But he runs really good routes. He'd be an excellent. I don't know.
Does he fit the system?
I don't know if he fits the system great.
Because Arthur Smith likes the bigger receivers, right?
Yeah, and with the smaller receivers he brings in, he wants them kind of beefed up. And Cowing's not weak. It's not like he's like a Calvin Austin III where he's super small and he can't block. Like, he can block a little bit. So we're moving here. 30 seconds in. It's close. Right now it's a tie between Dadrion Taylor Demerson and Jarvis Brownlee Jr. at 29%. Now Brownlee Jr. takes the lead. Still need a receiver. Still need a corner. I guess you could still take tackle. Could take a safety, even though you do have two good safeties.
Yeah. And you brought back Killebrew. I know he's not really a safety, but
he's a special teamer.
Yeah.
You have DeMonte KZ. And you've got Trenton Thompson, who's pretty decent too.
Remember last year when our safety room was so dire that Killebrew had to play snaps at safety?
Yeah, man, it was a mess last year at safety and inside linebacker. Like during the Trubisky days, It was rough, man. 30 seconds left. $50 to make the pick yourself or trade the pick. Right now, Jarvis Brownlee Jr. is in the lead.
Seconds.
He's up to 33%. Only 57 votes. If you haven't voted yet, make sure you go down in the chat and vote. 34% for Jarvis Brownlee with about 5 seconds left.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Pause.
Pause.
Anybody sending a 50? I don't see any. Let's lock it in for Jarvis Brownlee Jr. out of LSU.
Jarvis.
By the way, could have had Bo Limmer.
Not LSU.
Oh, Louisville. Yeah, I don't know why I said LSU. I'm an idiot.
All right.
Jarvis Brownlee out of Louisville.
Lock it in.
Lock it in.
Jarvis Brownlee, you are a Pittsburgh Steeler. Boop. All right. Pick 119. Pick 119.
Pick 119. Let's see if Malik is still here.
By the way, $20 now to make the pick on day 3.
We haven't taken a receiver yet, right?
No receiver yet.
Okay. So let's see what the receivers look like here. So now it's $20 to make the pick or trade the pick. Malik is still here.
Oh, baby.
And I got to think he's going to be the favorite. He is a damn good receiver, man. What else do we need? So we already took a corner. Let's look at safety again, see what's there.
Cole Bishop?
We'll add Cole Bishop on there. Is Christian Jones still here? He would be a contender. Doesn't look like it. And honestly, guys, I'm not taking any of these people.
No way.
I'm not taking any of these guys.
Should we check interior linemen?
Check interiors.
Cooper Beebe. Zach Zinter? I know he's hurt.
But, we don't need a guard. And we already drafted our number 1 center.
True. Tight end?
Tight end. We can look at tight end.
Ben Sinnott?
Or Theo Johnson. Let's put Theo on there.
We'll put Theo on there. He's a Yinzer.
Put Theo Johnson on there. And then we need one more. Is there a quarterback available?
You want to look at QB?
We could maybe look at QB.
Jordan Travis.
All right, we'll put Jordan Travis on there as well. I have a feeling it's going to be Travis.
What makes you think that?
Because he's a QB. All right, next poll is up.
1 minute going on the clock.
This one's going to be 1 minute. All day 3 picks will be 1 minute. So make sure you get your votes in right now. $20, make the pick or trade the pick.
It's totally going to be... Oh, Malik Washington with the lead.
Malik Washington with the early lead. Cole Bishop, number 2. Theo Johnson, the tight end, kind of falling behind here. 60% want Malik Washington, man.
Tommy Eichenberg's still on the board, too.
You already take a linebacker, though.
Yeah. Audric Estime?
He's all right. Halfway through. Halfway through.
Malik Washington.
Right now it's Malik. And honestly, man.
Great pick.
I'd be happy if this was the receiver we walked out of here with.
Great pick.
This is the same spot I took Malik in my mock draft. I think that he's an incredible value here.
10 seconds.
10 seconds left. $20. You can make the pick or trade the pick.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hold.
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 Anybody send it in? Make the pick.
Malik Washington, URA, Pittsburgh Steelers. There it goes. Obviously, 120 is now gone because we traded that. We are at 178 now, Spare Dog.
All right, I see Joe Milton.
Put him on the list.
We're gonna put Joe Milton on there.
And Dylan Johnson?
I don't know, man. Let's see.
No good tight ends.
What? No good tight ends? Let me see the tight ends. Gotta tell you, man, I would think the Florida State kid that I took is still available. Is he not?
Nope.
Oh, man, he got taken this time.
Yeah, Jaheim Bell, he went 1 pick before us.
Oh, Jaheim. Screw the Vikings, man. So, tight end, not going to be an option, I think. Look at corner for me. MJ Devonshire. Let's put the Pitt Panther on there.
Bring him home.
If you have by the way, now that we're getting to round 6, it's $10 to make the pick.
10 now.
All right, $10 or whoever puts in the most in Super Chats. And once the timer starts. So Joe Milton, MJ Devonshire. Let's see, what else do we need here?
We have Milton and Devonshire so far.
Is there any linebackers?
Check linebacker. I bet Jalen Ford.
Jalen Ford's there. We'll put him on there. I like him. And how about we go Garrett Greenfield? My guy from South Dakota State.
Is this our last pick?
2 more picks.
Should we wait for Garrett?
Yeah, let's wait for Garrett. We need 1 more.
What about special teams?
No, not special teams. Everybody spam your sleeper pick down there. Spam your sleeper pick. Let's see. What else?
Tackles?
Yeah, check tackles. Nobody.
It's slim pickings nowadays.
We're gonna put
You can just do 3 if you want.
I'm gonna put Garrett. I'm gonna put Garrett
Put him.
Greenfield in here.
That's your boy. Why do you like Garrett Greenfield so much?
Garrett Greenfield comes from South Dakota State, the Jackrabbits.
He does?
He had an unbelievable combine. He has super clean film. He plays with great technique. He played at the Shrine Bowl here in Frisco, Texas, dominated practices, and then dominated the game against D1 competition. This guy should be going in round 3 or 4, in my opinion. You can probably get him in round 7. All right, so I think he's a great value.
Are we starting?
We are starting. The live poll is up. Joe Milton, MJ Devonshire, Jalen Ford, or Garrett Greenfield. Get your votes in now.
Get your votes in. Oh, it's Joe Milton.
And we have 11 votes in right now, and 75% want Milton.
This is obviously your guys' mock draft, but if I can influence you, Joe Milton stinks.
Yeah, we're not big Joe Milton guys, me and Coop.
He has a rocket arm.
He has a cannon. Can't use it to complete passes though.
Cannot put it on in, as they would say, you can't put the biscuit in the basket.
So if it were me, I'd be voting Garrett Greenfield here, or I'd actually probably be voting Jalen Ford, because I really like that inside linebacker, even though you already got an inside linebacker. Or you can make the pick. $10 super chat is all it's going to take.
Hot Rod says, I think that's why we are choosing him, because he stinks.
Oh, my goodness. 45% say Joe Milton at 1 minute. Did somebody come in? Doesn't look like it.
Oh, man.
Joe Milton is the pick.
You guys are menace to society.
Oh, man. I can't wait to react to that one in our cut of this. All right.
Final pick.
Final pick. Garrett Greenfield is definitely going on there.
Are we putting a kick? Harrison Mevis would move mountains, but we already have Boz.
Oh, my gosh. Let's put the kicker on there.
We'll
Why
put
not?
Harrison Mevis on there. Or do we go Will Reichard?
No, we go Mevis.
Harrison Mevis.
What else is available? Is Jalen still here?
Jalen Ford. Let's look. Yes.
Jalen is still here. Okay.
Let's look at running backs for the hell of it. Cody Schrader? Frank Gore Jr.?
We're going to put Frank Gore Jr. on there. Have to put Frank Gore Jr. on there. All right. So this is the last one, unless somebody wants to trade down for some reason. Garrett Greenfield, the tackle. Harrison Mevis, the kicker. Jalen Ford, the inside linebacker. Or Frank Gore Jr. And if someone wants to send in a $10 super chat, you can draft me. How about that? Someone sends in a $10 super chat. Long snapper Jack Sperry will be drafted in the 7th round.
I'm not sure your form's good enough.
Well, I mean, I've really been diving into the long snapper film.
I believe it.
So if someone wants to send in a $10 super chat, start the clock, by the way, Coop. Somebody sends in a $10 super chat, we'll draft me.
Jason says going to send in 10 and pick a punter. Go for it. It's your pick.
Fine by me. This is your mock draft, folks.
We already signed Chris Johnston, but
if you guys want me as your long snapper for the Pittsburgh Steelers, $10 super chat, and just say the word, and we'll make it happen.
How about that Shohei Ohtani story?
Yeah, unbelievable. Unbelievable. 20 seconds left. Is somebody going to send in that $10 super chat to pick me?
Uh-oh.
Right now, nobody's picking the kicker. Literally 0 votes for Mevis.
They love Boz.
We do love the great and powerful Boz.
He can still kick for 6 more years.
Oh yeah, we kind of just put the kicker on there just for shits.
1 minute.
All right, that's 1 minute. Is anyone bringing in that $10 super chat?
I'm gonna have to search for Greenfield on here.
I don't even think he's on there, so just take a tackle. Oh! Marilyn Krieger! Krieger wants me, the long snapper, out of Mount Mercy University.
Which is where? For those that don't know.
Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Shout out to my Mustangs. Black Diamond Marilyn Krieger sends in the $10 super chat.
With pick 195 in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Jack Sperry.
By the way, 6th round pick.
Long snapper, Mount Mercy University.
I am the highest drafted long snapper in the history of football.
So give us a little bit of a breakdown on the player that we're getting here.
Oh, he's got good arm length.
Okay.
He needs to add a little bit of weight to survive in the National Football League.
No doubt about it.
He's a little bit raw, a little bit green. Hasn't played in a while. A little bit of an injury history.
Will he get downfield on punts and make a tackle?
Oh, you better believe this kid is going to have the best motor on the team. All right. This guy loves the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's going to his hometown team, man. Let's go.
Let's go.
Gotta love it. All right. So that's going to be it for today's live stream, guys. We still have 300 people in the chat, man. You guys are absolutely unbelievable. Jason says he's from Cedar Rapids. I went to school in Cedar Rapids. He says I'm from Iowa.
Jack Sperry is from Minnie.
I am from Minnesota, Steelers fan, but I went to school in Iowa.
So, our final count. Jackson Powers Johnson, Braden Fisk, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., Jarvis Brownlee Jr., Malik Washington, Joe Milton, Jack Sperry.
Man, I'm not going to lie, man. There's a lot there to react to. We're going to be doing a full reaction video to your mock draft on the channel. It's going to come out this weekend, probably.
For what it's worth, PFF gives us a B+.
PFF gave us a B+. Good job, guys. Good job. Let's go.
Yinzer's no ball.
Shout out to you guys for getting a B+ here. Yinzer's no ball. That's what I love about Pittsburgh Steelers fans, man. All right, that's going to be it for today's show, guys, from me and Mr. Coop. One more. Here we go, Steelers, and then we're out of here. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. All right, we have a lot of fun today, man. 3 cuts plus a fan mock draft. We got to do this again sometime, Coop. This was a lot of fun. We'll see you guys later, and until next time, here we go, Steelers.